What up, though? I thank you for tuning in. It's your man Rap Talk, and today we're gonna come at you with another, another bad motherfucker album you should know. And today we're going West Coast with it. 1993, 1993 with it. Was it 92? It would take 92, 93. I don't want to be off of my facts. But we definitely know this was the second album off Death Row Records. Death Row Records. Snoop Doggy Style. One time for the album, you should know Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. Man, here. When this motherfucker came out, dog. First off, we already was riding off the heels of the Chronic, which Snoop predominantly was on, most of the albums. So, he highly was anticipated. And everybody was waiting for his solo project to come. Because he definitely was holding down the Chronic, even though it was Dre album. You had Dre the Dog Pound, RBX, everybody. The whole crew, the whole Death Row crew was on the Chronic. But everybody know who the charisma and character, who was up next, was Snoop. And he did it. He did it. He definitely did it. Because Snoop came with a charisma of his own, Solo artist, even though he rolling with a whole crew. But just the way he carried himself with that whole just cool demeanor. It's kind of like what I was talking about on my Slick Rick hookup. You can go back and check that one out. On my Great Adventures, I was talking about how people like Slick Rick paved the way for rappers like Snoop. And even actually on this album, he redid Lottie Dottie, which is Slick Rick's song. So you definitely know he was paying homage, and he definitely was following that whole Slick Rick, that cool style, that laid back flow. This album, front to back, definitely is an album you should know and a classic within itself. I mean, as a youngin', I just remember even having the album cover, the tape. I just remember seeing the tape, just open it up and just seeing the big ass cartoon. I was just intrigued by that. That was a whole energy within itself. That was an element that, I think I'll never forget. Just, having a tape and just opening it up, and it just like was a big old just dog cartoon, and I remember it. Just opening it up. And that's one thing that's taken away today, but we don't want to be in the past all like that. But I miss that though. I miss the album art and opening up an album and reading the different credits and the things, the pictures, it kind of like flesh with the album to a certain extent with some people, with some albums. Because looking at the pictures and listening to the music, you would put it all together like, okay, I see where they was coming from. I see what idea they had when they was creating this. But nowadays, you got to just listen to the music and use your imagination. Unless you following them on Instagram or YouTube and stuff like that. But I get it. Life of times move on, I get it. But this album start off on some smooth shit in the bathtub. The skit. I'm pretty sure that was from an old movie, but damn, I really can't think of it off top, and I don't want to be mistaken if I am wrong. But the whole bathtub sings, it sounds like some shit that was in one of them old black exploitation pimp flicks back in the day. So, he come off with that. in the G-Funk intro. They get straight into it. That's one thing too. This album did birth the whole. I ain't gonna say birthed it. Well, we could dance around that a little bit, but it definitely was. Well, the Chronic birthed off the G-Funk, but this definitely took that torch too and took it to another level. Had us on that gin and juice. He came with that. Even though the first single off the album was that What's My Name, that definitely was a good introduction. Because when he came with that, he came hard like, what's my motherfucking name? He just had everybody just saying it. And if you really pay attention, though, Snoop's whole career, like after, listen, every album that he dropped, the first single was a song like that. Like, what's my name or saying my name, something. I mean, go back and research that shit. Think about it, though. Y'all might think I'm tripping. But just think about some of his albums after this album. Like I say, damn near all his albums. The first single that he dropped was a song basically like, basically a song like somehow like re-enchanting his name. You know what I'm saying? Like what's my name? Just Snoop Dogg. You know, just go back. Let's look at some of them albums. You'll see what I'm talking about. But ain't nothing wrong with it though. You know what I'm saying? He was doing what worked for him, and and Snoop definitely is a household name, and he definitely a big artist. And we saw that, we saw that peeping through with the Chronic and just his character, just that smooth puppy dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like in a good way though. He was a little shy at first. But then he came into his character, it wasn't no stopping him after that. Whether he jumped on the pimp shit or whatever, to make a church album, reggae albums, whatever. I mean, Snoop is definitely I'd say one of the hardest working men in this whole show business. When it's all said and done, when people look at all the shit that's gonna be on Snoop files and the shit he been involved with and the shows that came and went, TV shows, man, Snoop he on a lot of shit, man. If you really just go through the archives and just think about it after all these years. But definitely, this album is definitely one you should know and go research this motherfucker, dog. Has songs like The Shiznit, Snoop was on some lyrical shit, definitely early off in the game, you know what I'm saying? He really could rap. That was one thing about him, he was West Coast. Not putting the West Coast down for that or nothing, or just saying that, but sometimes they didn't get as much credit with the lyrics. They get more credit for the laid back and the style they was presenting. But Snoop was coming through with some lyrics, especially like I say, shit like The Shiznit. He had that Murder Was the Case on here. Even though that got spun off like after this, he got caught up in the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, with the trouble and shit, And they remixed this song and they made a small movie and things of that nature off the whole, I ain't gonna say hype of Murder Was the Case, but he went through a lot though. And like I say, this song initially, Murder Was the Case, was the song, but then they had to tweak it up and beef it up a little bit because he actually was going through the shit after this. Shit, he really did have a murder case. So that was crazy. But this album definitely was fun too, It was fun. It was just some, like I say, like a spinoff of the Chronic. It was still riding the high times. Like, let's have fun. You had the gin and juice and shit. He came with that. That was a big single too off the album. Just think about that, though. The nature of just public radio just having a song playing. Gin and juice, Rolling down the street, smoking Indo. Sipping on gin and juice. Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I mean, just think about that, though. It was like unfiltered, though, but it still was just fun and just good times, Just think about the kids now. Just had a song called Everybody Drink Gin and Juice, They really had us on that shit, man. Like, look at some gin and some juice. These niggas corrupted us, man. It is what it is. But like I said, it was good times, man. It's crazy. And he had songs like Ain't No Fun. Come on, man. Think about that. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have. See, that's busto material. That's basically what they saying. Like, shit, she a busto. We running this ass up. That's some crazy young shit, though, man. That's crazy. Ain't no fun. They like, fuck it, I don't care. You want to fuck her, you can fuck her. Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. And people was literally running with that shit. Like, ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Like, fuck it. That's what she do. She do. Fuck it. Slut her. She a hoe. But it is what it is, though, man. Shit crazy, man. What else we have on this album? You know, you had that Doggy Dog World. That was a bad motherfucker with the dramatics. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that, though. Even though they sample their music, that was that funk. You know, the dramatics, man. That's some Detroit shit. You know, that's us, man. We definitely was a touching tune with that. That Doggy Dog World, man. That's classic material. And then even with the video, you know, having Huggy and all them in that shit, you know what I'm saying? It was just themed out. So go research this album if you ain't up on it, what you should be. You definitely should have crossed paths with this album. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggystyle. I keep saying Snoop Doggy Dogg because a lot of people kind of forget. When he first came out, that was his name. It was Snoop Doggy Dogg. But, you know, I guess like through stipulations and maybe even contract stuff to help him out or however, you know, the name just steady was getting changed. Then it went to Snoop Dogg. And, you know, I get it. But it's definitely respect all across the board. And then the album ended off with a nice theme with that pump pump. That was my shit. Because it was a nice upbeat tune. And like I say, Snoop had them lyrics. He had that flow. He was able to glide over different beats. And, you know, he was coming with a style of his own. But he still was able to, you know, jump on a track and ride that motherfucker. And that was a nice tune right there. Matter of fact, it was with him and Lil Malik. I liked him too. Because that was Young Dog from Illegal. I don't know if a lot of people remember that group, Illegal. Matter of fact, were they down with, was it Eric Sermon? I think Eric Sermon brought them out. I know Jamal and Malik. It was the group called Illegal. Or was it Paris? Shit, I don't want to fuck it up. But go research it. I just remember that group Illegal, though. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Shit. I mean, I ain't got to know every fucking thing. Shit, but you know, but it is what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your fondest memories of the time when this album came out and how you feel about it and what was some of your favorite tracks on this album. I definitely appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video and audio. I'll get with y'all on the back end. Rap Talk.